Hello, we're back with our Ask Me Anything segment where I pose a work-related question to Gerald and he'll help us navigate through it. We love that you are sending us your questions, so keep them coming. You can reach us at cnapodcasts@mediacorp.com.sg or leave it as a comment on Spotify or YouTube.
And today's question is from a Wicked listener, right?
Yes. The listener asked, okay, I'm gonna read what he said. Why do employers keep insisting on the candidate's last drawn pay slip even though the Manpower Ministry stipulates otherwise? Aren't these information strictly confidential as stated in employment contracts? This listener said that he would also like to know how companies use this information as part of the application process and how candidates should respond if employers keep insisting on it. Okay, so there's some background. I did some research in case anyone isn't aware. Then Manpower Minister Josephine Teo said in 2020 in Parliament that there is no rule that job seekers must declare their last drawn salary and employers cannot insist on it. But I know for a fact, Gerald, that some companies will still persistently ask for your last drawn pay slip. So why do they do that?
It's not just some companies, it's many companies still do it. The companies need to ensure that they can afford you.
Really?
When companies want to hire, they have a budget.
Yeah.
And they want to know whether your expectations for salary matches with their budget.
I don't see it as whether they can afford me. I feel that question is targeted towards whether they can lowball me later on, right? Because if I state a salary and they might not want to pay me that money, they can cut 20% from that. And especially if they see my last drawn salary, last drawn pay slip, they might go, you know what? Yeah, we shouldn't be paying her that much. She's asking for a 20% jump. Let's just do a 5% jump.
Many candidates, they feel that by revealing their last drawn, they lose their negotiation power.
Correct.
They start to get lowball job salary offers. And that's not what they want. So that's why they keep it as much as possible, not to reveal to the recruiters as much as possible.
Recruiters will ask because they want to know whether they can afford you. Am I right?
The recruitment process, firstly, is very long. So to put someone through multiple rounds, meeting different people, ranging from the supervisor all the way to the top guy, that whole process is long. If they find out at the end that actually they don't have enough to match your salary expectations, they have to restart the whole cycle.
I see. With another candidate. Okay.
That's right.
I do worry that sometimes it could be trying to lowball, me with my expected salary without having, maybe say considered my skills and experiences first.
That's right.
I would obviously like to be considered for my skills and experiences because that's what I can bring to the table, right? So if I want to negotiate, of course I want to negotiate higher because I kind of mentally know that you are going to, bring it down by a certain percentage. Insisting on my last drawn salary isn't going to help because you're going to bring it down even further, right?
Or rather, sometimes they will try to match as much as possible. So for employers, they also don't want to overpay you too much, right? I think a certain percentage is okay, but the thing is they don't know how much more you're asking for if they don't know your last drawn salary. So that's why they want to offer something that could be more competitive.
If you don't feel comfortable with giving them your last drawn pay slip, what can I do if HR is absolutely insistent?
The first thing we should do is to prepare ourselves with salary research. So by checking out what the job market out there is paying for similar jobs like what you're doing. So look out at job advertisements, salary reports, job portals, start to gather the market range for what you'll be doing, how much you should be earning. And then also, as you do that, consider whether your own experiences matches with that kind of range, right? So having this salary research gives you a bit more ammunition if today you were to negotiate for salary, or even give a holding answer to a recruiter who's a lot more insistent. You could just tell them that based on the labor market, based on the job ranges that you have seen is around this amount to this amount. So give them a range. Yeah. So you're still not revealing your last drawn, but you're giving them the idea that this is what you're looking at based on what other employers are paying.
Which fits into what you say so that they can make plans as to whether they can afford you. But they surely would know, right? Because it's all open information anyway.
So when you give them a range, also remember to just share that maybe you are negotiable, you're able to negotiate on the salary, and most importantly, just turn the conversation back to the job. Instead of talking about the money too soon, start to talk about you would like to know more about the job, like to know more about what the job entails, to see whether that's a good fit before you discuss further about salary matters.
If, let's say, they still insist, I want you to give me, your last drawn salary. They ask you point blank, what can you do then?
Some people will just cave in and they just give, right? Right. But of course, you could also offer a different response. You could say something like, oh, I'll only prefer to disclose this information with you after I get a chance to meet with the employer to understand more about the job and requirements. I want to give myself the best chance of understanding this job because I think I can contribute and be a good fit. So really turning the conversation back again towards job fit and also understanding what the job entails and allowing the employer to assess you as well.
Don't be so ready to give it out in the early stages of the interview process. Maybe try and hold out till the final stages. You're saying that, right?
The aim of holding out is so that you have more negotiation power at the end, right? But sometimes there are times that recruiters will cut you out just because you don't give them as well.
Yes.
Because maybe other candidates have given them.
Yeah, correct. Other people are willing to. So everybody, don't spoil the market, yeah? Your advice is, as a blanket, we don't share your salary information to anyone at all, even in the early stages.
It's not a blanket no to all requests. So there are some exceptions. For example, if today external recruiters, headhunters, or recruitment agents, they come to you and they want to know what was your last drawn, I think it's okay to review to them because external recruiters, they do want to help you. They are more likely to help you as well because they themselves want you to have higher salaries. Yeah, it benefits them.
What if I don't get the salary that I really want or I get dropped because someone else spoiled the market and they revealed their last drawn salary and it's well within the range that HR or the company is willing to give them?
If the company rejects you solely because you didn't provide any salary expectations to them, then it could be a good thing. They didn't value your skills, your experiences. And of course, even if you provided the information to them earlier on, you will eventually face less negotiation power for higher salary later on.
That is true. So don't see it as maybe a missed opportunity. It could be a blessing in disguise.
And the same thing works the other way around. If you negotiated for better salary and still fail to get a job, also don't blame yourself. If you did your research and you know your market value, then try as much as possible to hang on to it.
Again, very good tips. Thank you so much, Gerald. We hope you found this helpful to you, especially to you, our listener who wrote in to us. We hope that we've given you some tips to hold off the next, request to ask for your pay slip. For the rest of our listeners, we are on our usual CNA social channels. Leave us a comment on Spotify. Write to us. Remember to send us your burning questions for Gerald and I'll help you ask them. This is Tiffany.
And I'm Gerald, wishing you a super work week ahead.